2 is Jumbie, Charlie Bishop, and 3 Cardam, Usheen Murphy. 4 non-runner, 5 Mill Stream, William Buick, 6 Bit Bahi, Jamie Spencer, 7 is Kinnault, Mountain Richard Kingscott, 8 is Shah Tash, James Doyle in the Watnan Racing colours. 9 should have been a ring for Sean Levy. 10 is the Wizard of Eye, who was successful in his first start for Charlie Bellows. Ryan Moore is aboard. 11 Washington Heights, who ran well last time, Tom Eves. 12 is Believing, second appearance of the week as George Bowie looks for another winner. Danny Tuthope is aboard. For Highclere have also been on the mark today. 13 Swing Along, Clifford Lee, and 14 is Bad Dream for Kieran Schumacher. 13 runners for our big race, the QE2 Jubilee Stakes. Let's head down, look at some horses with Francesca.
And this is the one that we need to have a look at most closely. It's Believing, who's been well supported in the market, but like Richard said, she ran here on Tuesday over 5 furlongs, so she's got a furlong further to go. But I watched that race back again and I thought she was very impressive. She wasn't beaten that far and she looked like she could have gone further again, and she is on the quick back up here, but I can report that she looks really, really well, and she is a proper classy sprinter, I think, so she'd have to be right in the calculations. 14 is The Dream, who also ran here in that same race. She was down the field and I think she's going to struggle because really we see the best of her on softer conditions. Number 1 is Art Power, can say the same about him, although he has run very well here at Ascot. He was 12th in this race last year, but he was 3rd in it in 2021, and he can pop up and surprise on his day. Number 9 should have been a ring, who is right in the mix here because he's finished in the placings in a lot of the right races. He was second, beaten a nose by Millstream, who's well fancied here. That was at York. He can be a little bit inconsistent, but I just love him to look at because he always presents the same. He's kind of chunky, he looks like a real sprinter, he always carries a bit of condition, and he's just a bit of a joy for the owners to have. We'll go to Matt and come back to me in a minute.
Well, for Jane Chapelheim, it doesn't get any bigger than this, Jane.
Right.
Group 1, Royal Ascot,
Yep.
one of the market leaders, good winner last time. Sum up how you're feeling about Millstream.
I think he's got every chance, and hope it's a strong pace and he gets a bit of cover, and then William can produce him and he comes home nicely.
In a nutshell, all the conditions are right. It's just these sprints tend to be a little bit of a lottery. Is that fair or not, do you think?
Well, I think we saw enough at York with this grade of horses that are running today. We got a little bit unlucky in running, and I feel that if we had overcome that, we would have been a good length winner. So I'm hoping he produces the goods here.
Do you think he's still getting better?
Definitely, he's on the up. Yep.
Okay, well, fingers crossed. It's a good A for you.
Thank you.
Now, Quinnell, the horse and shop, was a winning machine last year. However, this is his first try at this level. Can he produce his best at Group 1? His last 4 starts have been over 7 furlongs, so he's dropping down in grade today. He does it well, though, doesn't he? He's quite relaxed. What about the Wizard of Eye? This one's fascinating because trainer Charlie Fellows has only had him for not very long. He's only had him for 1 start when he won the Victoria Cup handicap here over 7 furlongs here at Ascot. Did really well to win that day, and Charlie was very confident about his chances. This is a different kettle of fish because it's a Group 1, it's not a handicap, so he's got to take a big leap forward. He looks well, he's a tall, rangy, flashy kind of chestnut, isn't he? I just don't know, I think, like Matt alluded to, maybe it's one of those years where we don't have a standout sprinter, so you can give a chance to quite a few at a price. Cardam here, well, I mean, he won it last year at 80-1 under a brilliant ride from Jamie Spencer. Actually, Murphy takes the ride on him today because Jamie is on another runner. In fact, this one here, Mit Bahi, just in behind. And look at Mit Bahi. He's very, what we call short coupled, so his hindquarters are very close to his shoulder. The length of his back is really very short, so proper speedy type. He has had a trainer change lately. He's now with Charlie Hills, previously with Roger Varian, and he beat Regional at the Curragh last time, and Regional ran really well here on Tuesday. 13 is Swing Along from the Burke stable. Her form's decent. She was 3rd in the Commonwealth Cup actually hit last year, and probably needs to lift on her 1 start for the season so far, but she's a good looking girl, isn't she? She's big, she's strong, she doesn't look out of place in a field full of colts. Who else can I show you? Oh, Millstream is there, but in front of him is number 8. That's Shartash. A lot of people have fancied this one. Used to be trained by Johnny Murtagh. Was bought for 150,000 at the Arc sale last year. Now with Archie Watson, 2 from 2 for him. Up in grade. I don't love the fact that he's just getting a little bit warm under the saddle cloth there. James Doyle's just hopping on board. Just that little bit of a tense sweat going on with him. Millstream looks fantastic in behind. Identifiable with his white bridle, very typical of the Jane Chapel Hyam runners. Will Buick just hopped on board, and we'll get out of the way of this one heading out. It's Washington Heights. I bumped into the owners. They said he will win. Good luck to them. Over to you, back.
Well, if winning the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes was hard enough for Charlie Fellows, because such a competitive race, he has to do it after his best mate George Scott has just won the Hardwick. You're not going to try and outdo George again, are you, John?
This is his day. This is his day. No, look, it's great. It's fantastic. I was delighted. I'm even more delighted because that means it's now not going to go and win the Melbourne Cup, because it's probably going to win the King George now, isn't it?
It could easily do. Let's concentrate on the Wizard of Eye, who was brilliant here for you sprinting last time. You booked the world's best jockey. Presumably you just hope for a lightning gallop and try and come through as fast as you can.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I thought there was a fair bit of speed. As everyone seems to be telling me there's no speed in the race, but I thought there's quite a lot that like to just roll on. We'll see. I think he's quick enough for 6. We find out today.
Nervous? Still collar adjustment and things like that.
Okay.
Suggest you're just walking your box a little bit.
I feel relatively relaxed, limber.
Well, wish you all the best. Scott has put the pressure onto Fellows.
Oh, I'm here in the betting ring. It's active, it's full of energy. Ladies, what did you make of Bedtime Story?
Exceptional race horse, absolutely brilliant race. Just brilliant, amazing.
Tell me, what do you make of Royal Ascot?
The atmosphere is just amazing. Like the King being here, everybody loves it. It's so good.
What are you backing here?
Should have been a ring. Number 3, Kadeem. 8, Shartash.
Ash, none of the ladies are believing in believing, but it's favourite ladies. 3-1, the daughter of Memas. Number 12 for George Bowie and Danny Tudhope. Millstream looks well, 9-2. Cheska saying Shartash getting a little bit warm, but it's third favourite, 7-1. Mitbahi 8-1, 9-1 Art Power, and double figures the rest.
So Millstream and the Wizard of Eye will be looking to come home quickly, and so too will Mitbahi, and he came home quickly at the Curragh. I fancied him on this occasion. I was thinking, oh grand, Jamie Spencer can just move to his left whenever he wants to and go towards the front, but as we know by now, that's not the way Jamie Spencer does things, and Mitbahi does like to come through the field. So Millstream, the Wizard of Eye and Mitbahi will be the closers in this race, so we think. But every time you watch this, you're thinking, Jamie, come to your left anytime you want. There's loads of room out here. He comes across a little bit, has a look between the red and white and the purple, and decides, no, I won't go there, and he went back over to the right. But this horse loves chasing horses and following through. Goes through on the inside of Matilda Picot and then switches to the outside to run down Art Power in front. Should have been a ring in the light blue with the orange epaulets over on the far side. Is back in this race again today, but this lad flew the last half a furlong. I'm hoping they go hard enough and he flies the last half a furlong today as well.
Will we see a proper ride? We'll find out in a few minutes. There's Millstream. Might not be a vintage crop of sprinters, but it's an interesting race nonetheless. The jewel in the crown on the final day is on the way.
Horses making their way down to the starting gate for the Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stake Group 1 event here on closing day. Want to remind you to please sign up for the Crown Jewels Racing. We have completed our race of competition for this week, but our next one comes up in July 27th right here at Ascot. It's going to be an exciting one, so if you haven't signed up, plenty of time to do so now. Back for the QE2 Jubilee.
There should have been a ring, and Sean Levy, who's had such a fantastic week, and of course this horse could easily go and do the business. I thought, well, just follow me. We'll walk behind the stalls, and they've been just going straight round, and just calms them down a little bit. They can't see what's going on, but he finished behind Mitbahi last time, so he's going to take he's got to improve it. Here's the interesting one I wanted to see. That's Believing in the background there in those lovely high clear thoroughbred racing colours. She only ran on the Tuesday. Ran very well as well. You could argue this race isn't as strong, but his should have been a ring just walking past. But she obviously looks tight and fit. Obviously she does, but she doesn't look flat at all. She looks perky enough, and you never quite know until they actually get out there. But these are experienced horses, so hopefully there shouldn't be any issues down here.
And Haley, so nice to talk about no issues with the draw this week. Really, Chris Tickle's done a good job, hasn't he? No excuses. It doesn't matter where you're drawn here.
It hasn't been the case all week, and last year I think most of the week everyone was talking about the draw and where you need to be, and this week it's been a free-for-all. There's been no bias whatsoever, and it's really nice for punters and jockeys. So.
And I'm your agent for 5 minutes. Who do you want me to get you on here?
I think Mit Bahi. I think that Jamie's riding obviously very good on the straight course here, but I think he's going to be, Ascot is just going to be right up his street, and it's not the strongest of races. There's a few others I think would have a chance. We were just saying how well Should Have Been a Ring looks. Always knocking on the door in this company, but can be a little bit hit or miss. And then Believing, only ran a few days ago. I'm sure she's just been out in the field from then until now and freshened up, but the sprinters seem to take their racing really well.
I think if we're looking for one that could potentially have the class to be something a bit special, I think it's got to be Believing, hasn't it? Because they went all the way to Hong Kong to take on some really good horses with her there. It didn't go well for her. I think the ground came up soft, which is not what she wanted, but George Bowie, as you know, knows the time of day, and he thinks that she is top draw. She ran a really good race on Tuesday. We're presuming she's come out of it well, and for me, she's got to be the classiest in the field.
Yeah, it was quite funny to talk about it now, but after she got beat in Hong Kong, he said it was a long flight home with my tail between my legs. He said, we were expecting much more, and some of that belief, they wanted to go to Haydock for everybody to regain that bit of confidence coming in here for this week. So they've certainly done that, and the punters have latched on.
Talking of another Newmarket stable, the Wizard of Eye, Charlie Fellows, you know him quite well. He was very confident about this horse when he last ran here at Ascot. He duly won. It's a whole different ball game now in a Group 1. But can he take another step forward?
I certainly think so. I mean, obviously the improvement Charlie's made on the horse since he's been in the yard. I did hear before the Victoria Cup how strongly fancied the horse was, and won the race, like a potential group horse. So I think Charlie's every right to, give the horse the opportunity.
Last time he ran over 6 furlongs.
July 2021.
2021 is the correct answer.
Nearly 3 years. Brian.
Believing is 3-1 favourite. Millstream 9-2. Shartash 7-1. Art Power 9-1. Mitbahi. Lots of ways to bet on the Tote Whirlpool on the betting exchanges and here on the rails with the bookmakers as well. Mitbahi shorter on the Tote Whirlpool than he is with the bookmakers. 9-1 with the bookmakers. Only 15-2 on the Tote Whirlpool. But Believing will start favourite. Do you believe? 3-1.
There is Quinault, who had such a fantastic time of things last year, going up through the ranks. He's obviously now having to take on the big boys, but he's not out of it. He's been running over 7. He's back to 6 here. Incidentally, Cardam, horse number 3, Shartash, horse number 8. They're all going to be loaded late. They've got a little bit of previous with getting upset in the stalls. There is Quinault just going forward into stall 9. And he's just gone in absolutely fine. And the other runners, I can just see Ryan Moore right at the back there on the Wizard of Eye, he's a tall, magnificent looking horse, the Wizard of Eye. And I agree with Haley. He looked as though he was a group horse last time he ran. Well, we shall see now, because there's a big step up to this company.
Right, let's talk about some of the others quickly. Art Power just went in, loves this place.
Yeah, he does. He also loves it over at the Curragh. Slight concern over ground.
John Beefy, Johnson Horton.
Jubilee has got the blinkers on for the first time today, which is interesting, and hopefully can reignite his enthusiasm because he's shown no form recently.
There's Millstream, Jason.
Yep, absolutely on a roll, and always been highly regarded by the Jane Chapel Higham team. Very, very good win at York last time.
Over on the far side there, Shartash for Wathnan.
Yeah, we know Archie's good with his sprinters. It'd be great for them to have another winner. They've invested so much in this meeting.
And then I think the final one comes forward.
Cardim, who's got mixed form at the stalls, left the rider behind a couple of years ago, won it last year. The Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes, 6 furlongs are Group 1 off today. They're all loaded. Power burst out, and Jumbie was slow, as he often is. Far side swing along is one of the first to show, with Shartash and Art Power, the grey Quinault, and the pace is strong. Millstream, then Washington Heights and Believing, and already we've got 2 groups, because Cardim toes up the second wave. We should have been a ring. The groups are behind each other in this case rather than alongside each other, with Jumbie towards the back. He held up, Wizard of Eye as well back with Vadream, so it is out in front. Swing along with Quinault, continuing to press the pace with Shartash's red cap, then Art Power. Washington Heights on the right hand side travelling well. Believing just nudged along with Millstream. Trying to get involved is Cardim from off the pace with Vadream. Should have been a ring. Jumbie, Mitbahi still ridden cold. Out in the lead it is still Swing Along. Shartash left hand side now. Believing, ridden along is Quinault with Millstream. Travelling up strongly is Cardim, just behind the leaders for Oisin Murphy, who's yet to make his move. Mitbahi with work to do. Swing Along, and now Cardim breaks cover. Believing, then Millstream and Washington Heights. Swing Along, hanging tough. Millstream, then Cardim over on the far side from Believing. At the line, Cardim edges close home, and it's Cardim back to back. Queen Elizabeth II Jubilees. Cardim beats Swing Along, Millstream, Believing, Wizard of Eye, Dream all in the heat with Shartash. Mitbahi never got there. Should have been a ring. Washington Heights faded on the run, and Jumbie was last of all, just preceded by Art Power. 80 to 1 last year, 1-4, 14 to 1 this. Charlie Hills has had a quiet time. Oisin Murphy confident at halfway, made his way from the second half of the field. Great run by Swing Along, fought off a whole host of challenges that included Millstream and Believing. Vadream on ground that wouldn't have suited has run well in 5th. Wizard of Eye in 6th place, but Cardim, well, he seems to save it for the right occasion. As I say, he's had a checkered history down here, down the years, but this was success for Victory Hay and Oisin Murphy. Cardim wins the race again.
And Dr. Jim yesterday warned us, because all the talk has been about the horse Jamie Spencer chose, Mitbahi, but he said, don't rule out Cardim. And the Hills boys are here. There's Eddie. Oh, more tears at Royal Ascot. And Dad's had a difficult run of things. No winner for about 3 weeks. What a brilliant way to come out of the doldrums. One of the stars of ITV over the last couple of years. Big Brother's there. Oisin's just having a fantastic week. Swing Along's run a huge race, but Oisin always had him in his sights. Love the way Oisin interacts with the crowd. And he's about to meet the happiest man at Ascot. And he's going to lead him in as well. Rishi.
Well, there are so many happy people here. You don't need me to tell you. Eddie, James, and obviously James is looking after him as well. But let's start with Oisin. That must have been some feeling to be travelling as well as you were, about a furlong and a half out.
Rishi, what an amazing horse. I think he's 8 years of age, back-to-back wins in the race. Incredible training performance from Charlie Hills and his team. Wonderful.
You look like you really enjoyed it. The little punch at the line, the celebration seemed to suggest that that was a very special one for you, particularly.
It was, Rishi, because I thought for the majority of the last 2 furlongs he would win, and I was able to enjoy it a little bit.
Tell me about how the race developed, because we were thinking obviously it's going to be quite hard for him to win it 2 years in a row, but he seemed to absolutely relish this test this afternoon.
He did. There was a lot of speed on, particularly after a furlong, and when they began to slow down late on, he came alive. And I just tried to copy Jamie Spencer last year, Rishi.
You didn't do too bad a job. Let's talk to James.
Well done. How was that for you?
Oh, good fun. Really nice to see him getting back, in form. And we'll repeat this.
Well, what's the secret? As Oisin said, he's 8 now. Some people would have said, he won it last year.
Yeah.
Some even said that was a fluke, if we are honest.
Absolutely.
So how do you keep his enthusiasm? What's the secret to this success with Cardham?
Nothing. Keep it simple. That's the main thing. Keep his horse simple. Keep him happy. Give him lots of love. That's it. And he reward you.
It sounds like the perfect template for life. Keep it simple and lots of love. It worked with Cardham. Well done all.
Thank you.
Eddie has been a star on ITV. I'm going to try and catch a word with him when they come in as well. Once the emotion has subsided. I wonder why that meant so much to him. His big brother, he'll be amongst it as well. I love how the fact Eddie's wearing a top hat, no waistcoat. I think it's quite cool. Cardham's done it again, as Richard said, 80 to 1 last year, 14 this. Some week for Oisin Murphy, this. Hayley riding with so much confidence. He had that in hand some way out.
Yeah, and I actually think the way he rode the horse suited the horse. He's an 8-year-old, The horse obviously enjoyed the injection of pace early on, and then when the horses, they'd gone a little bit too hard, they started coming back to him. He just grabbed hold of the bit and really enjoyed it.
Would Jamie Spencer have had the choice between Mit Bahi and this horse? Because he won on Cardham last year, and then he's on the owner mate, Mit Bahi, was still in the Jimmer Fitri Hay colours. He could have ridden this one.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, the owners are absolutely wonderful to ride for. They don't interfere too much on the jockey bookings, depending on who the trainer is, who rides them out, who puts the work in. They're more than happy to have whoever on, but very emotional young man there.
Oh, Eddie, do you remember him at Goodwood? He's watched so many races with us. His brother's absolute shot up. He's a spitting image of his mum. Eddie's an absolute form book guru. I know Meg, when she goes and rides out there, gets her instructions, all the history of the horse from Eddie.
And he probably was the one that said, we've got to go back to Ascot. We need good, fast summer racing ground. We've got to ride him cold, produce him late.
You see him ride a winner on a pony the other day at Ascot.
Oh,
brilliant ride, but I think he fell off afterwards.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, he did Barcelona, didn't he, going up over the line, one of those. And
I'll let you ask him about that if we can get him over. Here comes our winner, the Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes. Back-to-back winner of the race, Cardham. Winner at the meeting for Oisin Murphy. He is on a roll. Let's confirm the result. Full marks to swing along. Eddie, you go and enjoy it. You come back. I'm just going to chat to Eddie. You come here. Well done. Will you come over and speak to me? Go and see the horse first. Good man. Poor Eddie, he's in absolute floods of tears, bless him. Cardham won at 14 to 1. Swing along, we must mention him. What a race that horse has run again. She just is so consistent. Third in a Commonwealth Cup at the Royal Meeting, second in the QE2. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take a break and we'll come back and we'll speak to Charlie. We'll get Eddie over here, perhaps. Now the horse gets a cuddle. Magic. Not many horses win back-to-back races like this. Full marks to Cardham. As we say, it might not be a vintage crop of sprinters. There might not be any Australians this year. But hats off to Cardham. And we'll try and speak to Eddie Hills when we come back.
Yeah, you do well to find the sort of emotion anywhere else that we get here at Royal Ascot, and Eddie Hill's epitomising that there. We'll hear from him soon enough. Right, more reaction to that big race coming up, but first of all, let's head out and find Ella.
Of that trophy, in its current guise, Cardham, the first to win the Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes. It was won twice as the Cork and Orrery. Back to back, that was Right Boy in 1958 and 59. What an achievement for this horse. Cardham for Mrs. Fitzroy-Hay, for Dr. Jim, Oisin Murphy and trainer. What a welcome winner this will be. Number 8 of the Royal Meeting for Charlie Hills.
Charlie Hills has just been left almost giggling here because Eddie's emotion is magical, isn't it?
I know, he's over the moon. I mean, what a horse, though, to win 2 of these races, plus the Palace House and Stewart's Cup, King George at Goodwood. You know, he's a very good horse. But he got a fantastic ride there, just hit off the pace, and he never looked like going to get beat, did he? He sort of travelled beautifully through the race, loves this track. I think this is the first time he's had the ground pretty much since he ran here last time, so I think fast ground's key to him.
And of course bundles of pace. You get a massive field in a race like this, particularly in a wide open year, and Oisin can almost just sit still. Spencer, I mean, Oisin just pretended he was Jamie Spencer, didn't he?
Jamie's further behind there today, but yeah, he had a lovely pitch. You know, they went a good strong pace in front, but just travels for fun, doesn't he? He really does. He's such a versatile horse. You know, the fact that he was making a running over 5 furlongs 2 years ago, and then we just really felt that let's just run him differently, try and drop him in, run like a good horse over 6, and it seems to have suited him really well.
For you, Charlie, when you started off, you did quite a little bit of work in Australia. We now know that the Australians are a different class when it comes to sprinters, and although you've had loads of successes, I think at the moment you'd be remembered as a king of the sprinters. I mean, Batash and Muhara are 2 of the best sprinters we've ever produced. Why do you think that is, or is it just the type of horse you're sent?
I just think, no, I don't know. It's just like, the cards you get dealt, isn't it, really? And just obviously there's a lot of sprint-bred horses in training, and the ones we've had have, they've taken time to come to themselves. Like this horse, he's 7 years old, is he? So they're just taking time. But I don't know. It's just, like I say, it's the cards you're dealt, really, I think.
And we know your boy Eddie is very emotional. He was saying what a legend this horse is. But what about the old man Barry? Because the last time I spoke to you, he wasn't that well. Will he have watched this race?
I'm sure he's better now. No, Dad's he obviously has been ill, has spent a few days in hospital, but he's been back, and he seems to be improving every day. I mean, that certainly will be a good tonic for him there today. And yeah, he's in good nick really now.
What you say? He'll be better now, and he'll be very, very proud of his boy. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
And here he is now, Charlie getting his prize from the Queen. Likewise, his boys, James, the taller of the 2, Eddie, looking a little bit more composed. And for Jim, that's another magic moment. Well done to the Hayes. Here's Oisin Murphy winning again at this Royal Meeting, number 4 for him. And well done to Nicola Dowell, who I think rides Cardham out each day. If Kenny will get a prize as well for winning groom today. You could call this horse a winner some way out, Ruby.
You could indeed, Ed. He travelled really well, but the stalls were interesting. He obviously wears a hood, but Oisin literally gets it off him as the gates are open, and then Cardham bounces out. Oisin wants to drop him in, so he has to take him back quite strongly to get him back off the pace and swing along. As you give a good mention to Ed Clifford Lee on the far side in the Navy. She jumped and was in a great position. Now Oisin, after going a furlong, I'd say he felt they were getting a little far back, because he puts his hands down on Cardham's neck, and he's the one that brings the field closer to swing along. He drags the ones behind closer, but he was cantering into the last furlong. Oisin switches inside swing along and delivers Cardham at the right time, but it was a great run from swing along, who was on that strong gallop every step of the way. They were doing over 40 miles an hour, but Kadim has backed it up with a second win in this race.
Kadim, Cardham, they won't care. Back-to-back wins. Right boy, the last to do it in the 1950s, my goodness. Now Eddie gets to speak to the Queen, along with brother James. That was the Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes. Still to come, we've got the Jersey, we've got the Wokingham, we've got the Golden Case, and the finale comes in the Queen Alexandra on another beautiful warm day here at the Royal Meeting.